sheep before they make a peep. They night the banks and ain't no money. Call it fucking blight. I'm growing bright. Stardom of a kingdom to reap them of they rose. Kill, steal, and steal her margin. I ain't real my woes.
So
I agree.
yeah, man. So this is the other thing I want to say, and I know I don't want to go too long on the topic, but this is the other thing I kind of want to kind of speak on here, man. Like when the PlayStation 2 came out, like Mark, you know what I'm saying? Your pops, my uncle Mark was the first person I knew that had a PlayStation 2 in life at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You remember how much your dad paid for that console?
The PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
No, dog, I don't remember the price. I just know he was like, it don't matter. I'm getting it.
Do you remember where he got it?
Kmart.
Okay, rest in peace, Kmart.
Rest in peace, Kmart.
R.I.P. Send your condolences, man.
So the reason I bring that up is like that was an event. It wasn't manufactured. It wasn't marketed. It wasn't an event because they told you it was an event. It was an event because the people actually anticipated it. There was a buzz that was genuine for it. It wasn't one of these fake. There was no to my knowledge, I don't even remember there being like a big media marketing campaign for it. People just knew that this was something that was important. Now, there's no such thing as an event anymore. Y'all kind of know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man. Keep cooking, dude.
It doesn't really feel like, even with the PlayStation 5, even with the PlayStation 5, I know they're gonna move units. I know that the Xbox is gonna move units, but it doesn't feel like an event. It feels like it's only an event because Microsoft and Sony are telling me that it's an event. They're making it an event instead of allowing the event to make itself.
Right. It's not organic. You're saying none of this or is organic, where it's literally the customer and it's the end users, the clients that are pushing it and making it something extra special, where we naturally want this product. We naturally want to experience this because you guys put in the goodwill and the hard work to make something enjoyable for us. And now in return, we are highly anticipating, your next project or your next product to come out. And instead of Sony telling us this is going to be the next greatest thing in gaming ever, as a consumer, we were like in our heads before, we were like, we told ourselves this was going to be the best thing ever happened to video games. And now, like you said, it's forced marketing, and those days of having people lined up outside of Best Buy in sleeping bags and having those PlayStation 1s with the mini screens and people playing that shit. Like, those days are forever gone, man. I don't care what the next consoles that are coming out. That's a lost era of just gaming in general. And, I know people still gonna enjoy this new gaming and these new consoles, but like you said, everything is pretty much packaged, marketed, and here you go, and it's no longer that organic reach that I had before. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I definitely agree, because like back then, like you said, like the sleeping bags, the lining up, like, what I'm saying, like going to wherever you're going the next day, hollering at your homie, like, yo, bro, like, did you get the new game? Like, no, man, like, there's a new game. Like, yeah, bro, you don't know nothing about it. Like, come over, let's play. And then, bringing somebody into the culture that way. Now, it just kind of feels like, of course it was, this pandemic is just kind of like, all right, you guys, you've been in the house this long. The PlayStation 4, the last generations wouldn't last that long. So here's an event.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Here it is. Enjoy, because you're cooped up inside and you have nothing else to do. So, I mean, on that part, good timing for them. This is perfect timing for them to release something new, because we're all wanting some kind of entertainment. We're all going to eventually have cable bills because we're all going to subscribe to these freaking streaming services. We're all going to upgrade our TVs this holiday season because we're going to be staying inside watching all these new shows and playing these new consoles. So, of course, Xbox and Sony and Microsoft are going to be good to go to give us some new entertainment while we're still cooped up, quarantined, and experiencing this pandemic. And I don't know, man. I think console launches just every generation. I don't know why, but it just never seems. It seems less and less and less of an event, of a
Mm-hmm.
real something to get really excited about. And it just
Right.
seems very, very corporate. And I know things have changed with E3 and the way they do live streams now to show the games. It's just different, man. It's like a personal touch has been lost when it comes to some of this stuff, and it feels really kind of, I don't know, man, very corporate. But that's just the way things go, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
So just
I agree.
my bad, cuz. Go ahead.
Real quick, just on that, like, I agree. Like, more so, like, there's no mystery behind it. You know what I mean? Like,
Ah,
we know what's coming, instead of like they could be like, hey, we're working on a console. We got this going on. Granted, we've known for years they've been working on the console. They've told us like, yeah, we're working on it, and we're just not gonna, tell you until it's ready. Granted, they led up to it, giving us the specs and whatnot. But like, even then, that was giving away the mystique behind it. Versus, you
the
could have dropped
sauce,
it. Yeah,
the
you could
secret
have dropped it.
sauce.
Then we all been like, "Ooh, did you get the PlayStation?" Like, what? Is it dope? But like, yeah, bro, come over.
Okay, so just along them same kind of lines, man. Prime example. I remember Christmas Day when my brother, like my mom had gotten my brother the PlayStation 2. The first game that my brother had on PS2 was Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. And
Ooh,
I sat there, my cousin Kyle, we sat there and watched my brother playing Metal Gear Solid 2. We watched him get through the first half of the game as Solid Snake. And bro, like no strategy guide, no YouTube, no Twitter, none of that shit to spoil it. We thought,
Damn.
like, damn, that's the whole game right there. Like, what the fuck? And then this guy pops up as Raiden calling himself Solid Snake. And just think about it, bro. Kojima had pulled off a ruse based on the time frame and the era that was in. There was no way for that surprise to be spoiled in any kind of way. The marketing for Metal Gear Solid 2 up until that point made you believe Solid Snake was the only one you were going to be playing as, right?
Yeah.
facts.
And in this current era, Kojima would have never been able to pull that off. The release of Metal Gear Solid 2 was an event within itself, but now there would be no way for that to even be an event because you would know before you even bought the game that there's going to be a switch midway through to where you're not playing a Solid Snake anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's a problem with this information age, man, where there's no genuine. We talked about this before. There's no genuine surprises when it comes to some of this entertainment. We got people who decode movie trailers and game trailers and can tell you the whole storyline of the game. We got comic book previews and they tell you what the hell is going to happen in the comic, and you're like, thanks for spoiling a whole freaking issue on the preview. You know what I'm saying? On the solicitations. And so, I mean, you're absolutely right, man. It's hard to have a game come out and you don't know all the storylines because there's leaks and there's, there's insiders are leaking the information or someone is decoding everything. And it's very rare you get a game and you have to basically you have to unplug yourself in the matrix to actually enjoy some of the stuff they have available now, because it's just like you said, everyone's in the know, and there's this weird culture of like, if you don't know, you're not cool. Like, you need to know ASAP and you need to know information as soon as possible. And I think it's ruining some of these experiences that we have for entertainment. What do you think,
Right.
Majin?
I I do agree, because like that was the whole thing of like, you interpret the game, I interpret the game, and then let's interpret the game together. You know what I mean? But I'd say like with that switch, like, yeah, it definitely wouldn't be able to happen if somebody was looking at Metal Gear now, Metal Gear 2 now, and be like, oh, okay, seeing the commercials, playing the first one and see how everything going, and be like, okay, this is all about this one character, and then switch, you're playing a completely different game. Yeah, no, that would not happen now, because like one game that I was looking forward to, so like the Final Fantasy VII remake, like, granted, I know what's going to happen into it. even then they have said that it's going to change. There could be things that's different. So with that, I had to, you know what I'm saying, like you said, like pretty much like hunker down, and ignore everything, like all the reviews and everything, because somebody's already played it and somebody's already talked about what's in it, who you can play as, what abilities you get. And it's like that ruins the game, because just reading that, I can already strategize. You know what I'm saying? Just reading that little bit of excerpt, I can figure out that much more about the game, and it's going to ruin that little bit of mystique.
A prime example would be The Last of Us 2 on PS4, where the story was leaked for months about what was going to happen in the game, and that a particular character was going to die, and there was going to be a switch. Like you mentioned before, there was going to be a switch of the character you play as halfway through the game, and everyone had their prejudgments already based on the news and the leaks, so they already went into that game pissed. They already went into that game upset. They were already ready to torch and not play the game based on the spoilers itself. And would their opinion have changed if they played the game and went through the storyline? Possibly, but even for a game like that from Sony, man, it's hard to get games coming out and there's no spoilers, and you can actually experience the game and go through a ride and not know exactly what's going on. We had strategy guides, but you'd only go so far ahead. They wouldn't tell you the story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They just give you the gameplay.
Exactly.
They wouldn't go in depth over what's exactly happening. You only go one or two pages ahead just to help you get yourself through the game. But I mean, I think that's a lost art nowadays.
And still let you like interpret it, and then like just to stem on what you were talking about, Last of Us 2. Like, have you played it, the second one?
No, I mean, I saw enough angry reviews online and spoilers.
Okay,
yeah,
so cuz, what about you? Have you played it?
No, I haven't played it.
So check it out. You know what I'm saying? The Last of Us, the first one, man, I fucking loved it. I loved it. And then just like you said, D, I heard a little bit about the spoilers, a little bit leaked, and I have not finished the fucking game because I already know what's gonna happen. And like I made sure to like, I would try not to look at the spoilers, but even the little bit that got out was the biggest part. So the fucking game is ruined. I don't want to beat
it. Yeah, prime example. Prime example, man.
So I guess, oh man. All right. See, I guess then my question because there's a couple more questions I want to get into with PlayStation 2. But I guess my question then for this current era of gaming then is, do y'all feel like, because obviously the story part of it had to be important for people to have that strong of a reaction about the spoilers, but was there any way for that not to be put out to the public? If that spoiler would have been under wraps until the release date of the game, if you're not a day one purchaser of the game, if you don't get it right when it comes out, let's say you get it a week or two after it comes out, is there still any way to avoid that part of it being spoiled?
I think so. So early in the streaming days, like early in the recording games on like, you know what I'm saying, the PlayStation 3s and all that, there would be certain scenes that you couldn't record no matter what you were doing.
Word?
Yeah, so like they should go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, it should be, if you're playing the game, if the game is released, I mean, like, I don't know, put a time limit on it. In the first, 4 months, nobody can share the story gameplay. Yeah, people are going to get around it, but then that makes it harder for, somebody else to do that. You know what I'm saying? At least we're trying to keep the secrets on the wrap to keep you invested. Yeah, that's one way I could think.
That's a good point, man. I never knew that was a thing. Like you say, conveniency. If you make it convenient to do these things, people will do it. So even if you add a little bit of a hassle to it, it could knock off a percentage of people who would want to spoil it. I know for some people, you just have to stay offline. You can't go online. You can't go on social media. You can't even look up reviews. I mean, it's so bad you can't even go on YouTube because people are putting spoilers or in the thumbnails or the video titles of what's going on. So You can't even you can't even go online. Like I'm dead serious. I mean, I remember when freaking Avengers Endgame came out, someone put the freaking GIF of Tony Stark with the freaking Infinity Gauntlet in his hand, and you know what I'm saying, with no context. It's just here's the GIF, and it'll play if you scroll through your timeline. It's like, wow, yo, you people people get enjoyment from ruining other people's enjoyment with spoilers, man. And yeah, you just have to stay. You can't go online. Stay offline, and just try your best to stay away from social media and try to enjoy the game as best as possible without getting spoiled.
The renegade sage, about to unleash hate. Number 8, yes, you know I'm about to break it down the hell's gate. See it swell, yo bitch filling up my pail. Got a new bitch, call it jail. It's alright, I'm in the cell. Now I'm getting out, my niggas spouting.